Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great evening. Samantha Butler here with Master Wellness Academy, Better Health Through Better Living. And this evening we're talking all about how you can support your hormones naturally through your diet, through essential oils, through exercise, and so much more. So thank you for those of you who shared this event happening. You are getting a oily roller bottle in the mail. And whoever shares this video either on your Facebook profile or if you share this with someone you think could benefit from the value, I will also send you a special roller bottle too. So I look forward to seeing you share this with many people. Okay, so let's get down to exactly what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about what helps your hormones, what breaks down your hormones, and what you can do about it. So we're going to talk a little bit about the basis of hormones. Hey Sonia, how you doing? So where do they start? The hormones actually start in your brain. Hey Brenna, how you doing? So you probably wouldn't think that. You would think, especially for women, oh, hormones, that starts in the uterus. No, actually they start in your brain. It's actually a part of the hypothalamus. The hormones are affected by the hypothalamus. And this is what helps to support your brain, is having natural hormones too, especially for women. So yes, the ovaries do produce estrogen, but they start at your brain and they work down this funnel of different organs, different parts of the body, and they're sent, of course, to different parts of the body as well. So the hypothalamus obviously is associated with what we say the happy drugs in our brain, and it helps to regulate those things. And if you've ever experienced maybe a down in hormones or a low in hormones, you might really feel the emotional effects of your hormones being out of whack, right? So because it is so much a part of regulating our brain and how those things function, which I thought was really interesting. And it's also it goes after the brain. The hypothalamus is going to be a part of the pituitary gland, and this creates and disperses two different types of hormonal hormones, two different types of hormones, IH and FSH. Why was that so hard to say? But we're not going to really dive into that too much. So this helps the release of estrogen in your body. And it's also a big part of adrenal, what we can experience adrenal fatigue and regulating the adrenal. So if you experience adrenal fatigue, it could honestly be a big part of the hormones because the adrenals also can affect our hormones. So we're going to talk about ways that you can support that. Hey Gina! So what are some things that tear down your hormones? Actually having extreme anxiety and stress in your life. We talked a little bit about mental and emotional state, and this can break down your hormones. And the health of your emotional health is such an important thing with regulating and keeping your hormones healthy. So the amygdala is definitely the seed of our emotions. The amygdala, the part of our brain, and can be pushed by negative emotions. So whenever we have negative things happen to us and we're at this high stress point, it's going to slowly start producing these different fight or flight hormones, which can cause cortisol and those kind of negative stress hormones, which now studies are showing that stress is killing us. So we need to calm down, and we can support our hormones by using different things like essential oils, exercise to help regulate the brain as well. So whenever you have lots of negative thoughts, it does affect you on a physiological level. So the physiology of your body is affected by your mental state, and it's cool because now we have science to prove this. It's not just esoteric things, it's very, very true. So whenever you have these negative thoughts and these negative emotions, they're going to charge the organs negatively, and it's going to send those different either positive or negative kind of hormones throughout the body. So we want to make sure that we're trying to keep our mental state in a good place, because that is actually going to help regulate your hormones too. And then you can also take supplements. We have some really great supplements like omega G's and really good fatty acids and amino acids that are going to help your brain. And this is going to help your adrenal system, and this is going to help your hormones to regulate. So it's also going to help you change the way that you deal with stress, because, I don't think that stress ever goes away. I got into yoga, I got into breathing techniques because of extreme stress. I wore a heart monitor for a week. I had all these cardiologist tests, and I couldn't figure out what the issue was. I started going to acupuncture, and that helped so much. And then I started doing the herbal supplements, because what's cool about herbs and supplements is that they're adaptogens. They're intelligent. Plants are very intelligent. So they're going to do exactly what you need for your body, whether you're a woman or a man, because hormones are very, different in hormone in women and men. But what's cool about plants is that it's not going to just be what the synthetic estrogen, the synthetic testosterone. It's going to adapt to what you need. So awesome. The intelligence of creation and God's creation is never blows me away. I'm always just like, wow. I don't even doubt that, in the intricacy of it all. So adrenals, epinephrine, adrenaline, these are all things that the adrenals send out, that fight or flight. And we know that if those things stay for too long, they can cause a negative effect on the body, because the body's meant to send out those things really quickly. Like, say, a deer is with really big antlers is running towards you, and your body shoots all those hormones through your body to make you run off, and then you get firing off, and then it stops, it turns off, right? But a lot of times whenever we go through a stressful experience, we keep replaying it over and over again in our minds, and the stress hormones never shut down and they never stop. So that's how we can cause adrenal fatigue in our bodies, is really through our mental state. And that doesn't surprise me at all. So cortisol is a huge stress hormone that causes negative effects in the internal organs in the body and overworking the adrenals. So we really want to work on regulating adrenal systems. We're going to talk a little bit more about different oils you can use to do that as well. So what are some things that tear down your hormones? Obviously, stressed adrenals. If you eat too much sugar, sugar is terrible for your hormone levels. Actually, the average American has 150 pounds of sugar a year. Oh my goodness. And if you're a man, if you have too much processed sugar, that can actually cause you to have lower testosterone levels and higher estrogen levels, so that can mess up your hormones. A really good oil for men is actually Idaho balsam fir, and you can take this as a supplement, and it's going to be really helpful. The thing about oils and natural supplements is that it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time for these oils to process through your body, because the natural way just takes a little bit longer. So you have to really commit to this. If this is really something you want to do, you have to be committed to it, and that way you can actually see the results on a long-term basis. Also, some good oils for women for hormone balancing, adrenal balancing is Energy Blend. It's fantastic. I have some right here. I always keep it with me in my purse, in my bag, and I'll apply it to my wrist and onto my neck. So energy oil is great. Also, nutmeg oil. Nutmeg is high in fatty acids. It's high in omega-3s, and it's really great for regulating your hormones as a woman. Clary sage is fantastic, especially for your cycle time. And what's so fascinating is that so many women are experiencing their cycle earlier and earlier in life, as early as 2 years old. Yes, I said 2 years old, because of all the synthetic estrogens that we come into play with every day in our lives, whether that be through pine sol, through Febreze that we're spraying in our home, through shampoos that we're putting on our body, and they're being absorbed into our bloodstream. These are having a negative effect on our body. Actually, scientists just did a study where they actually took a hormone sample from an umbilical cord, and they found over 200 chemicals in that umbilical cord. So a lot of times we're starting out life already toxic, just because our parents didn't know any better, and it can actually get trapped and stored into our DNA. So a lot of times when we're having these hormonal imbalances, we've gotten started on this really rocky road, so now we're having to really replenish, and that's why it's so important to have a plan and to not just be like, oh, my hormones are out of whack. You really need to have a plan, and you need to be dedicated to helping your hormones be in balance, to supporting them with the diet that you eat each day, because especially for women, as we get older and we come into menopause, even more women are starting menopause earlier in their lives. The average age is from 55 to 65, and many women in their 40s, and even women in their 30s, whether it be something surgically induced where you had a hysterectomy, that's medically induced menopause. So something that you're going into 30 years sooner than you were meant to, and your body's having to catch up. So that can be even more important to support your body with natural supplements. So we talked about nutmeg. For menopause, specifically sclerescence, or lady sclera also, is an amazing blend. It has like geranium, ylang ylang orange, it has clary oil. Amazing for supporting you. You can put this right over your major lymph nodes here, and you have some on your stomach. You can put it near the ovaries to support that naturally as well. Dragon thyme is fantastic. I think for women experiencing menopause, but also women during their cycle, it has fennel in there. It has clary. It's just a fantastic oil for supporting you along the way, cramps, bloating, things like that. So I love to use that. Also, my timer went off. Using those oils during your cycle, going into menopause. Another thing that's really great for women who are going into menopause is Progessence Plus. Progessence Plus is actually a serum. It's not an essential oil. It has essential oils in it, but it also has a wild yam extract in it. And this is fantastic for regulating your hormone levels. Just really, really awesome. So highly recommend that. And remember that a little goes a long way when it comes to Young Living's essential oils, because they're so potent. They're therapeutic grade. They're the best oils out there on the market. I don't recommend anything else because they get results. And Progessence Plus is fantastic to use in experiencing menopause, and also for women who have really strong cramps, periods, menstrual cycles. If they're really a difficult time for you, I highly recommend looking into this. I'd love to send you more info on it. So those are the main ways that you can support your hormones, the ways that we break down our hormones, and what you can do to help your hormones to become better, to be your best friend, and to regulate our day, because it's not just what's happening inside our bodies, things that we can't control, our mind, our stress levels, what we're putting into our bodies, whether that be chemicals, whether that be the food we eat, and are we moving our bodies? Are we getting out there and really helping to break a sweat and to detox our bodies, because that's also going to help you to have a healthier hormonal balance, especially for men. As you get older, it's so important to move and to keep those testosterone levels up. So I hope that this video gave you value. Again, if you shared this video on your page, I'm going to send you out a beautiful unicorn roller bottle, and those of you who already shared, yours is on the way. If you have any questions, you can go to my website, zendoyoga.com, and I would just absolutely love to hear any questions you have. Hey Christy, hey Karen, so glad you popped on. This is going to be saved to my profile, so feel free to start from the beginning and let me know any questions you have. Have a great evening. Namaste.